911, what's your emergency?
You hope you never have to use 911, but if you do, you expect help immediately.
That's not what's happening in some cases across the country. I'm Tisha Powell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. We found some people are dialing the emergency line only to be left on hold.
Investigative reporter Kristen Crowley takes a closer look at the failures of 911 and what's being done to fix it.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Oh my God, 114.
If the woman making this 911 call sounds frustrated,
Okay, hold on. What's going on?
My husband, I think he's dead on the floor.
it's because she is.
These are the people that are supposed to help save you, and they're just not available.
Her husband, Robert Van Pelt, who had a known heart condition, wasn't breathing.
And I looked down and saw him on the floor and screamed at her immediately, call 911.
Their daughter, Morgan, called for help.
What happened when you called 911? It put me on a hold where it was like, someone will be with you shortly. Please don't hang up. I was like, I can't believe they just put me on hold.
A recording,
Please do not hang up.
not a person,
This is the 911 emergency line.
answered her 911 call.
I told her to hang up and try again. And I thought, well, maybe she got cut somewhere, weird Twilight loop or something.
You thought it was a mistake?
Yeah.
It wasn't a mistake.
Please do not hang up.
They heard the same message again.
What did you think when you heard that recording on
Oh my
911?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even know it was possible to get a recording.
911, in my opinion, shouldn't have any weight.
That's Portland's Bureau of Emergency Communications Director Bob Kazi, who says in 2018, most of its calls were answered within about 10 seconds. Today, the average wait time is 50 seconds, an issue he says started in 2021 as the pandemic and protests led to increased call volume and staff burnout. Portland 911 communications records say from the time Robert's family made their first call to the time a dispatcher picked up,
911.
it was about 3.5 minutes. But 911 calls should be answered in seconds.
It's very important that call processing times are minimal.
NENA, the National Emergency Number Association, sets this standard. 90% of 911 calls answered within 15 seconds. 95% should be answered within 20 seconds. April Hines works for NENA and says some centers reach that benchmark. It just doesn't know how many.
911 in general is considered a local entity. There is no federal entity that tracks those numbers.
But there's evidence this is a problem. The examples come from everywhere.
And I thought, it can't be busy because it's 911, They're not supposed to ever be busy.
I tried for probably over 30 minutes to get a 911 operator.
When you're on hold and you can't get through for 30, 40 minutes an hour and somebody's literally dying.
In St. Louis, this woman died waiting for help after a tree fell on top of her and her car. The city said a dangerous storm led to a surge of 911 calls that was difficult to keep up with. But over in Kansas City, Missouri, in Quentin Lucas's case,
This was a weekday, middle of the day. This was not Saturday night.
Lucas nearly lost his mother.
My mother collapses in the front yard. My sister finds her and does what every person's been trained to do. She calls 911 and she gets a message saying, "You've called 911. Please hold. Please don't hang up."
This issue has been a constant problem.
News of their roughly 4-minute hold time made headlines
Terrifying and unacceptable.
because Lucas isn't just any Kansas City resident.
All right, Jazzy, we did.
Quentin Lucas is the mayor.
Maybe there was fate that made it so the mayor's mother was one who was implicated. And fortunately, she's alive today. But I am going to make sure not only that we come to a quick solution in Kansas City, but that hopefully for every other American city, we are the template of how we do better.
After our interview, Kansas City approved a $1.5 million upgrade to its 911 system. It's also looking to take over operations instead of using the regional system that runs it now. But infrastructure and management are just one piece of 911's problems.
The vast majority of the time you start to see these long hold times is due to staffing shortages.
911.gov says a survey of 48 states found more than half of 911 centers face a staffing crisis in every region in every state surveyed. That's part of the issue in Portland, where it had 25 vacancies toward the end of 2023.
Hi, this is Charlotte 911.
Recently, with the help of higher salaries, hiring bonuses, and part-time options, Charlotte Police increased its telecommunications staffing from 105 in 2022 to 131 in 2023. Since then, the percentage of 911 calls answered within 10 seconds jumped from 67% to 72%.
When people are in a community where they are experiencing long hold times waiting for 911, what's the solution for that?
The agency having jurisdiction that funds the 911 center, and you need to let them know that this is a problem. They are going to have to make the choices on how they're going to staff, if they're going to staff more, have more staffing.
Changes that come too late for Candace and Morgan.
I never thought I would have seen my dad die, especially at such a young age.
Robert, they said, likely died before they even got a chance to call 911. But they wish they didn't have to wonder, what if? And they hope no one else has to go through that.
The point is that no matter the situation, like, we should be able to call 911 and then pick up the phone.
In an effort to reduce 911 wait times, in January 2024, the FCC sent new rules for wireless phone carriers, requiring what's called location-based routing, which allows 911 dispatchers to pinpoint a caller's exact location. Before the new regulations, dispatch would receive the location of the nearest cell tower and then have to determine the caller's exact location, which often required more time and resources. The FCC says getting the caller's precise location will result in millions more people connecting with emergency responders without the need for transfers or delay.
Another effort some states are taking to try and reduce hold times, upgrading 911 to a system called Next Generation 911.
It's a digital system, unlike the older analog one, that can also get text messages, photos, and videos.
Next Generation 911 is already available in 11 states.
Portland is piloting new artificial intelligence to its non-emergency dispatch lines.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
The program comes as the city's 911 bureau says calls have increased 40% since 2018.
Our staff is looking forward to it because a lot of the burden that they face is recognizing the number of calls that are waiting in the queue. They can see it. That's frustrating to them because they don't get a break between calls.
The technology determines if people calling the non-emergency line actually need to be connected to a dispatcher or get transferred to a different service in the city.
From the dispatch center to the operating room, artificial intelligence is proving it can save lives. We reveal how AI is impacting the medical field and patient care.
Plus, a new kind of Friday night lights.
Esports is a relatively new aspect of athletics.
We show you how the video gaming industry has come a long way since the first Nintendo and how high schools are taking notice.